YouTube, what is good? It's Kaz. I'm back with another video, but instead of a daily vlog, I'm actually going to be talking about 10 of the most important things that I think every new driver should know when they're getting into the trucking industry. But before we get into that, you already know what I need you to do. I need you to like, I need you to comment, I need you to subscribe, hit the bell to turn on all post notifications. In these videos, my goal is to give you all the game and the lessons that I've learned along my journey in trucking. And as I make the various transitions from being a company driver to an owner operator to a fleet owner, give you all the game on how you can follow the blueprint. So if that's something you're interested in, man, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when I drop a video. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, I've come up with a list of 10 things that I think every new truck driver should know when getting into this industry. These things are not in any particular order of importance, but just 10 things that I think are generally important for new drivers. When I got into this industry, you know, a lot of drivers told me about how much money you can make, but they never really talked to me about lifestyle and transitioning and what it's like to really be a truck driver outside of how much money you can make. It was just money based. When you are going from making average earnings and you can almost double what you make in such a short amount of time, it sounds amazing, you know, it's captivating, but there are various other things that I think people fail to consider when they get into the industry. Not that I would have done anything differently or not made the transition to being a truck driver. I just think I could have been more prepared and a lot further ahead if I had some of this information. The first thing that I think every new driver should know is an exit strategy is necessary unless it isn't. Some guys get into this industry and have dreamt of being truck drivers. Maybe their father was a truck driver, their grandfather, uncle. They could come from a long line of truckers. I didn't. And if this is not your passion, you have to understand what comes with actually being a truck driver and living this life, having, you know, being a trucker and the lifestyle that comes with it. The reason I say having an exit strategy is necessary unless it isn't is because if you're young getting into this industry and you plan to have a family, you know, a wife, a husband, kids, or you want to live a generally normal life where you get to go home and be in your city or your town on a day-to-day basis, coming into this industry, it's going to be rare, you know. So having a exit strategy, a plan, whether that's coming and working for a major company for a few years and then going and working for a local company where you could get home more frequently or even on a day-to-day basis, planning to make that transition from being a company driver to an owner operator where you have more flexibility in your schedule, or even making that transition to being a fleet owner and having drivers, or whatever the case may be. There needs to be some form of an exit strategy. You can even get into this industry for 4 or 5 years, stack up your money and invest it into other things, and investing that into another business venture, or investing that into real estate or stocks or something that you can begin to generate more money from, that's going to allow you to move away from having to be on the road on a day-to-day basis. Planning that into your career, your trajectory, and your route as a trucker is very important. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck for 40, 50, 60 years, however long it takes you to retire. You're going to be stuck driving and being away and being on the road forever. And don't get me wrong, it's nice to be able to travel and see different things, but you have very little sense of normalcy when you work within this industry. So, you know, but some guys don't mind that. Some people want to be out on the road for 40, 50 years. And if you do, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your life and that's your choice. But if you do want to have a relatively normal life, you have to plan that exit strategy. Number 2, being a OTR company driver does not necessarily mean you're going to make more money. I overheard a conversation when I was at one of the terminals for the company I work for. It was a new guy. He had only been working for about 6 months, and he was trying to advise this other woman who just started working for the company, had just got out of training, that she should go OTR because she would make more money. And this guy was talking about how much money he was making, and I made more money than him, and I'm dedicated. So being OTR does not always mean you'll make more money. It just doesn't. Even though you'll get more miles typically than you would on a dedicated route, it doesn't mean that you're going to make more money. It just doesn't. Dedicated lanes, the pay for dedicated drivers is typically going to be set up a little bit different. You generally get paid by the mile, but you'll also get paid sometimes by your trailer. You'll get paid stop pay. You'll get paid for unloading sometimes if you're on an account where you have to unload. There are various different ways that dedicated lanes pay, and dedicated lanes, just because you have less miles doesn't mean you're going to not get paid good money. Maybe I'll do a video later on breaking down like some of my pay stubs and how much I get paid on the dedicated route that I'm on. I've been on 3 different dedicated routes within 3 years, and the pay has varied on each one of them. So I can break all of that down and what that work was like if you all want. Comment down below dedicated if you want me to drop a video like that. If you're planning on working for a company and you have the option to be dedicated, OTR, regional, local, inquire about what the pay is like, because sometimes dedicated can get paid more than OTR. Sometimes OTR gets paid more than dedicated. Break it down, and do the math and figure out what's going to work best for you. Because every company is different, every dedicated lane is different, and even going OTR, your fleet manager might not be that great. You may not get that many miles. You may need a different fleet manager. You may need a different company. It's just, there's so many things to consider. More miles doesn't always mean more money. Number 3, don't let the company bully you. This is something that happens every single day within the trucking industry, especially for new drivers, especially for drivers who are from foreign countries, who are immigrants. This is something that affects people every single day. Companies, fleet managers, they will try to bully drivers into sometimes driving over your hours. Sometimes they'll try to get you to make deliveries that you are too tired to deliver to. And in situations like that, always push back, because at the end of the day, if you make a mistake, if you kill somebody out here on the road, you get into an accident, the fault is going to always be on you. They're never going to blame the fleet manager. They're never going to blame the person who is in charge, who told you to make that delivery and keep going even if you were tired. The blame is always going to be on the driver. You take a situation like the Colorado situation with the driver going downhill. There was so many lessons to be learned from that. I might break it down in another video. One of the lessons is the guy had a difficult time speaking English, right? And I've witnessed guys out here talk down upon drivers who can't speak English well. I see it all the time. I've seen it within the company I work for. I see it just on the road in general. People have less respect for people from other areas. They just do. It's wrong, but it's the reality. And the driver, he called and said there was a problem with the brakes, and they were persistent and continued to try to get him to make that delivery. He should have said no. He should have pulled over. As soon as he felt there was something wrong with the brakes, he should have said, I'm not going to continue to go until you send somebody to check these brakes, which he didn't. And ultimately, he was held at fault. He's now serving prison time because he killed 4 people. And that fleet manager probably still has a job. And it's unfortunate, but especially when someone is threatening you, telling you, maybe you'll get fired. It's unfortunate, but the reality is that ultimately it's up to you to be safe out here. And if you don't feel comfortable making a delivery, if you feel like you're too tired to do it, if you feel like the equipment is not safe enough to get you there without harming yourself or others, then tell them you're not making the delivery, period. If they fire you, you have a CDL, you can go and get another job tomorrow. Number 4, if you can get reimbursed for your tuition from trucking school with a company, it may be something you want to consider. Granted, that's going to mean that you may have to go and work for a large company, but working for a large company and you get your tuition paid back can be useful in the future. My company actually paid my tuition back. It took 3 years. They paid about $250 a month. My tuition was around about $11,000, something like that. They paid $250 a month on time for 3 years, and the loan is in your name. And so the benefit is you reap the benefits of on-time payments as it reflects on your credit. So my credit score has gone up tremendously because I had that $11,000 loan in my name, and it was being paid back on time every single month by the company. I didn't even have to do anything. They just send the money and it was paid. And, now my loan is paid off, and essentially they paid for my CDL. If I was to leave this company, I'll still have my CDL and I can go and do whatever I want to do, and this company paid for it. At the end of the day, it's just something to consider, depending on what your future is going to look like within the trucking industry. Number 5, consider going over the road for training as opposed to dedicated. If you work for a company that has dedicated lanes, when you first get your CDL and you go through the training process that you do with your company, if you do it on a dedicated lane, it's going to take a little bit longer than it will if you were to go OTR. And with OTR, you'll have basically really more experience because you're hauling different types of freight, different places. You're going all over the 48 instead of staying within one specific region. So, if you want to, you can go OTR and then transition to a dedicated lane later. But I would consider it because you'll get through your training faster and you'll have more experience. Number 6, always, I cannot reiterate this enough. I can't emphasize this enough. I can't speak on this enough. Always pre-trip your truck, always. Every single time you get up when you start your shift, pre-trip your truck. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, hailing. I don't care what it is. If you're going to get out there on the road, pre-trip your damn truck, man. Because, again, safety, bro, safety. This is an 80,000-pound vehicle going down the road. You got hundreds, thousands of people that you may pass on a day-to-day basis. Honestly, you need to make sure your equipment is safe, not only for the people on the road, but for yourself. Make sure your brakes are working properly. Make sure that your hoses are not frayed and leaking air. Make sure that your glad hands are not broken. Just check everything that you learn to check on a truck. Check it. Check your oil. Check your coolant. Check everything. Make sure that your truck is operating properly so that you don't harm yourself or anybody else on the road. Number 7, the habits you build today will protect you in the future. Build strong habits from the beginning. Go to sleep early, right? Go to sleep early and wake up early. Don't try to be up pulling an all-nighter and you have to get on the road the next day. It's not going to go well for you. Make sure you have ample sleep. Work sleep into your schedule. Don't just, I'll go to sleep at this. No, work sleep into your schedule. Just like you need to get to your destination on time, get to sleep on time. Wake up on time. Build this into your daily habits now as a new driver, because it will keep you successful in the future. Give yourself ample time before you have to get up. Don't make it to where you get up at the very last minute possible. Get up an hour before time, 45 minutes before time. Give yourself a chance to get up, get prepared, brush your teeth, wash your face, check your phone, check your emails. Give yourself ample time, because if you don't, when you just get up, not right behind the steering wheel, you're going to feel rushed. You're going to feel anxious. There's going to be multiple feelings and emotions that you're going to go through that are not productive to success. Keep your truck clean. even if it's the company truck. I've been someone, I've kept trucks dirty before in the past when I first started, but I've now learned that obviously keeping your truck clean, you're more comfortable. If you're more comfortable, you're less stressed. If you're less stressed, you're less prone to accidents. If you're less prone to accidents, you're more successful. Stay organized. Keep your paperwork in order. Get a folder, get a binder, get something to be able to put your paperwork in so you can keep paperwork for the last at least 7 days, just in case, you know, a load doesn't pay properly or something along those lines. Try to stay on as much of a schedule as you can, even if it's just scheduling things like what time you're going to eat, what time you're going to eat in the day, what time you're going to you know, get done, or whatever the case may be. Just try to work things into a schedule and try to plan your schedule out maybe the night before, or, you know, early morning, something along those lines. Work exercise into your daily schedule. So many guys get out here on the road, you spend all day driving, you snack, you eat, you do this, you're drinking pop, you're doing this, you gain a lot of weight. And this is not a very active lifestyle. So you want to make sure that you work some form of exercise into your trucking schedule. Try your best to meal prep on the road. Not only will you save money, but you will be able to eat a lot more healthy instead of having to eat fast food all the time. Plan your work week out on your 34-hour reset. So even though you may not necessarily know everywhere you're going to go within the week, try to plan out, okay, Tuesday I need to take care of this. Wednesday I need to call this person. You may need to take care of things that are back home, and you may be states away. You know, you may be in another time zone. Make sure you plan that stuff out, plan it into your schedule. I suggest utilizing Google Calendar. I think that's the best calendar for planning and scheduling. That's just my opinion. Everybody has theirs. But work things into your schedule. Also, make sure that your truck is clean before you go on your 34-hour reset. So, or if you take home time, make sure your truck is clean. You'll come back to a clean truck. Meal prep on your 34-hour reset, so you could prepare your meals out during the week. That way you're not stressed trying to find somewhere to eat, and then 9 times out of 10 you end up eating something that's not healthy anyway. The habits you build today will protect you in the future. Number 8, always pre-plan your route. Plan your route out every single time you're about to get out there on the road. Check your GPS against your atlas. Never put 100% of your trust in a GPS. Doesn't matter what kind of GPS it is, a regular car GPS, it could be the maps on your phone, it could be a truck GPS. Never trust it 100%. Always check that route, check it against an atlas, because even GPSs mess up, bro. They just do, especially if it's not updated or whatever the case may be. You want to check that atlas. Make sure you're not going under any low clearances. Make sure you're not going over any bridges with bridge restrictions that you won't be able to make it across because you're too heavy. Just check stuff, man. Check turn by turn. Check the weather in the area that you're traveling in. If you're going through multiple states, check the weather. See what the weather's going to be like in those areas. Don't just go out here and then end up getting yourself caught in some bad weather and then you don't have anywhere to pull over. Another good rule of thumb when pre-planning your trip is checking the place that you're actually delivering at. Look it up on your maps. Look it up on Google Earth so you can see which way you need to enter the facility, which way you need to exit. How do you need to back in? Sometimes you'll get to a place, and if you haven't checked it, you may have to back in from the road and you don't even know it. And now you may be stuck somewhere, holding up traffic or putting yourself in a dangerous situation. Check your GPS, check your atlas, check the weather, check the facility. If you do those 4 things every single time you plan your trip out, you'll be relatively successful. Number 9, protect yourself on the road always. Most major carriers are not going to allow you to carry a firearm. Me personally, I'm 2A all day. I believe in being able to carry a firearm personally, but most large fleets don't allow that. Nonetheless, carry a decent knife that is legal to carry over state lines. Most companies aren't really going to say too much about that, a knife, because you can always say, I use this knife for, you know, equipment, or you may need to cut something out here on the road. So get a good knife that's legal to carry over state lines. Look at the areas that you generally travel in and look up their state laws on weapons, whether it be firearms or knives. Get a good tactical pen. You never know when you'll need to break your window or break out of a window, or utilize that tactical pen for other things. When you're walking to and from your truck, I always suggest that people keep your keys in your hand. Similar to this. A good punch with that, you know, it's probably not gonna, like, you know, take someone off the planet, but it's gonna be a big surprise to someone who gets hit with that, and hopefully give you enough time to break away. When you're in sketchy areas, use the seatbelt trick. I'll do a separate video on this, but there's a way that you can tie your seatbelt around your door to where if someone tries to yank on your door, unlocks your door in some way, that seatbelt will catch it, and they won't be able to open the door. Always park in well-lit areas. Try not to park back behind buildings. Try to park somewhere where you know, people can see you, can see your truck, and your truck is well lit. Always be aware of your surroundings. When you're approaching your truck or getting out, always keep your head on a swivel. Before you get out of your truck, check your mirrors. Look and see if there's anybody around your truck. Look around your windows. As you're approaching your truck to get in, look around. Make sure that no one is in your truck or around your truck or lurking to try to attack you as you get in. They could try to rob you. There's so many things that people try on this road. So just make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. Never pick anyone up. A lot of drivers, especially drivers who have been in the industry a long time, try to be generous. I'm not that generous. I'm not picking anyone up. I'm sorry. We live in a crazy world these days where people don't have honor and integrity anymore, you know, and it's sad that you have to be that way, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Don't buy things from random people or over engage with people on the road. I always tell people, be generous, be kind, be caring, and converse with people while you're out here. But sometimes you'll get into areas where you may be at a truck stop and there's people going truck to truck trying to sell stuff, trying to sell stolen things, trying to sell bulk equipment. There's so many things that people will try to do on this road, and you can just never be too safe. Last but not least, this is the most important thing, in my opinion. Work peace into your lifestyle. Stay calm on the road. Don't overexert yourself. Practice breathing techniques. Practice meditation. Work meditation into your schedule, be it at the beginning, the end, or the end of your day, or both. Work meditation into your schedule. Don't neglect time for yourself. When you're working for a company, you're literally making rich people more rich. You're putting millions of dollars in their pocket, hundreds of thousands of dollars in their pocket. Every load you deliver, you're just seeing a small percentage of that. You're really giving your all to a company. You're giving your time, your energy, your effort, your mind. You're giving it all to a company. Do not forget to work peace into your schedule. If you get vacation time, use your vacation time. Don't try to overdo things. Don't try to over-impress people out here on the road, because at the end of the day, when they say the wheels keep turning, this is just a machine. If you get out of this truck today, somebody else is going to be in this truck in a few days. The wheels are going to keep going. They're going to replace you. Always remember that. We're all replaceable in this industry. Don't think for a second that you're not, and understand that. And it's not to say don't work hard or don't give your best to a company. Give your best. Just don't give up yourself at the end of the day. Take time for yourself. Take your vacation time. Relax. Work meditation into your schedule. Work peace into your schedule. Practice your breathing exercises. Take 30 minutes a day to yourself. Whether that's at the beginning of your shift, the middle of your shift, the end of your shift, work it into your schedule. A lot of times we get caught up in the monotony of this lifestyle as drivers. We get caught up in the day-to-day deliveries and being on the road, and we listen to the radio and we listen to podcasts and we listen to all these things, but we really aren't building any form of a relationship with ourselves. It's all for other people. We intake all this information on the road. You could listen to hours of conversation and you haven't said one word. You've just been listening to people talk. Take time for yourself. Work peace into your schedule. Don't overexert yourself. Don't overwork yourself. Don't break yourself out here on the road and not have anything left to give to the people that matter most and to yourself. Today, those are 10 things. It's probably been a long video, but those are 10 things that I think every new driver should take into consideration before they get out here on the road. If this video was helpful to you, if this video assisted you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, turn on all post notifications. I'll be dropping more videos like this in the future for you guys. And as always, it's Khalid Abdul Salam, peaceseekersbrand.com, and stay safe out there, stay aware, and keep trucking.